Well, greetings and salutations, test takers. This is Series 7 Guru coming to you from my studio, getting our kicks on Historic Route 66 with an explication request. If you have an explication request, you can send it to explication request at guruexamprep.com. Here's today's request. A corporate bond pays interest on a J and J15 schedule. That means January and July 15th. An investor purchasing these bonds on Friday, April 17th, would pay accrued interest for. The Uniform Practice Code standardizes trading practices in the securities industry, and it says that the buyer of the bond is going to pay the seller of the bond the dollar amount of the accrued interest. Now, if I'm selling this bond and you're buying it, I'm going to say, listen, these were my bonds for part of January, all of February, all of March, part of April, and you're getting a check on July 15th that represents the entire 6 month time frame. Not all of that money belongs to you. Part of that money belongs to me. The buyer says, well, Dean, when I get the check on July 15th, I'll send you your pro rata share. I say, no, 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 no. This is a transaction, not a relationship. So let's figure out how many days of that check belong to me, and we can just add it to the price you've agreed to pay for the bond. Test question, accrued interest is added to the price the buyer is going to pay, added to the price the seller is going to receive. We're only doing the calculation once. All right, so let's get through here. Trade date is Friday, April 17th. That's when we agree to terms, and settlement is T+1. Saturday and Sunday, not business days. A business day is any day the New York Stock Exchange is open. They're not open on Saturday and Sunday. So we agree to terms on Friday. Be careful when you get a question, RTFQ. If they say the bond settled on Friday or trade, that could affect your answer here. And then that's when ownership changes hands. So I say to you on April 20th, they're now your bonds and you're entitled to the interest going forward. All right, so January, February, March, April. Now, in the first month, the only number of days that could go in there is either 30 or 16. You know, when it comes to corporates and munis, we didn't want our high talent men and women to have to remember nursery rhymes and knuckle humps about how many days have September. So when I got paid as the seller on January 15th, that was for up to, but not including January 15th. So you owe me for 16 days in January. I was an owner for 16 days in January. Again, that can only be at 30 or 16. February has 30, March has 30, April has 30. So you owe me for up to, but not including settlement, because settlement is when ownership changes hands. So the answer to this question is 95 days. Now, if you want to use a shortcut, I do have a shortcut for you. And if you want to use the shortcut, you're going to take the settlement date, which in this case is 4/20, right? April 20th. And you're going to subtract the last interest payment date, which in this case is January 15th, 1/15, January's first month of the calendar. And you could do that. That's 3 months. And then you just got to remember 1 from 4. And each month has 30 days. 15 from 20 is 5 days. That's another way to arrive at the answer to the question, which is 95 days. Might you have to do this on your Series 7? Yes, it's mainly recognition, but every once in a while somebody actually has to do practical application of the number of days of accrued interest. So remember, accrued interest inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard. Accrued interest is hard. I'll see you for the next explication request.